Would you date a cam model who created nude and sexual content? Why or why not? Would they date me? That's the real question. You speak the truth. The true. I've dated a cam girl. It was fun. Till she got hooked on blow. Sorry. Drugs can ruin relationships. It really does. Still not over it completely. As long as she's not shitting in a jar for her followers. I would say sure. Depends how much they are paying her for that. If someone offered me money to shit in a jar, I'd buy a box of Raisin Bran and get to work. I've dated a girl who posed for nude photography regularly. The positive was that she was very comfortable in her own skin, and not all girls have positive body image of themselves, so there was definitely a liberated sexuality vibe going, which was nice. Were there any negatives? No. Online photos don't need to be developed, so there aren't any negatives. Duck no. My crippling self-confidence couldn't handle that. That's interesting. You could also see it as a boost to your self-confidence, in that you are dating one of those hot cam girls that so many of those simps only ever dream they could be with. But you get it for real. My partner is a stripper, not gonna lie. Walking into her club is the biggest ducking power trip. Those guys throwing money at her are paying my bills, paying for fancy restaurants, and upgrading my car. And I'm the one that takes her home. It's pretty sweet. Sure. Until my wife caught me, she'd be pissed. My wife supports me doing it. This guy's wife supports me too. Nah, I don't have the ability to compartmentalize something like that. Sex is one of the biggest ways I separate a friendship from a relationship, and if you're selling the things that make me feel special and valued in our relationship to anyone who pays you a certain amount of money, I can no longer have my emotional needs met, since sex clearly means something different to you than it does to me. I was waiting for this response. It's perfect for me. For anyone to live their lives and their relationships however they like. For me, in a relationship, I prefer sexual intimacy to be exclusive between me and the person I'm with. But Plebit and Twasset told me, if you aren't comfortable with your partner selling nudes, you are an uptight alt-right Nazi. Me personally, no. I also wouldn't date a stripper or escort. But I'd never knock the hustle. If you've got it, flaunt it. Especially if you can get paid for doing it and no one is getting hurt. Escort would be way different to me, since they're actually ducking other dudes, so that's a hard no. Cam girl or stripper? Maybe. It's a pretty set bar for me. Cam girl? Hard yes. It's just a show. And if that's what she wants to do, power to her. Stripper? Maybe. I'd need some trust built up here. Have to know her pretty well. I know a couple strippers. Some of them duck anyone who pays. Some are pretty strict on no touching. Escort? Hard no. I don't want to think about all the dudes she's ducking, or whose dick was in her mouth recently while we kiss. At this point I would date a toothbrush if it made the first step. What are you doing? Made the first step toothbrush. No. The type of career I'm going into, if they found out I was dating someone who was a sex worker, would impact me. I also find sex to be something very intimate between my partner and me only, and would not want other people to see into that, even if she was doing just solo cam work. This is a pretty respectable answer. Something tells me most of the people saying Vice haven't thought it through like Ok has. That, or they're just teenagers desperate for sex like 90% of Reddit seems to be. My ex did it. I only got mad because she was hiding it from me. If she would have been upfront about it, there wouldn't have been an issue. If she is hiding it, then either she is ashamed of it, or worried that you will be ashamed of it. But relationships need honesty. Sure, as long as there's honesty, and we agree to boundaries, I won't be worried about it. No, it would bother me. Agreed. Yeah, it would definitely bother Javanator 999. I know a guy who married a cam girl and conceived his son during a session. Cool. They can show the video when the son gets married down the road. Those slideshows where the pictures / videos of the bride / groom when they were young before the couple met. You'll have the earliest record of conception. Show him the frame by frame on his 18th birthday. Semicolon. It was shortly after Big Stroke 69 tipped and your mother's Omi Ibid starting going off when I busted and started your creation. Apostrophe. Nope. I'm not at all comfortable with that. Would you do it for a Scooby snack? No. I unknowingly did for about 3 months. When we first started dating, she told me she used to work at a strip club as a bartender. I asked her if she ever danced, and she said no, just served drinks. A week or so later, when she was drunk, she accidentally told that she also danced. I was pretty mad that she lied about it, and it was very off-putting, to be honest. I really liked this girl though, so I decided it was all in the past and moved on. She was working at a bank now after all. A few weeks later she moved apartments, and when I was helping her move in, I offered to set up her Wi-Fi, since she wasn't super tech savvy. I opened up Word to write down the network and password for her in case she forgot, and as I was saving it another document caught my eye called VIPCAMS or something like that. I opened it, which I admit was a bit intrusive, and it was the BO for her cam site. It had her alias, a list of prices and what she was willing to do. As you could imagine, this was super upsetting to me, for a number of reasons. I confronted her about it, and she came clean, and told me she only does it when she's short on cash, and that she hasn't done it in forever etc. etc. I tried to be understanding, but just the thought of the whole thing, which she admitted she had done while we were dating, was too much for me. I perfectly understand and respect girls, or guys for that matter, who do what they have to do to get by, but I found myself unable to get over it and have a real relationship with her. To me, it's one thing to have other guys hit on or look at your girlfriend, but it's completely different when they're paying her to masturbate while they jerk off. It's also completely different when she's actively lying to you about it. This is the bigger problem here. No, I'm not against sex work. In fact, if that is a choice you want to make, go for it. It is an ancient and noble career. But I'm very monogamous. I don't mind guy friends, mate dates, being without them etc. But sex work in my personal view is tantamount to unfaithfulness. Just because you're getting paid doesn't change the fact others are approaching you in a sexual fashion and you're letting them. This is just my personal view. I speak for no one but me. If you think differently, you do you. I won't bash anyone. That's fair. Unfaithfulness is very dependent on the nature of the relationship itself. What one person considers cheating another will see as normal behavior. As long as we all talk to our partners, then all is good. I feel like sucking dick is pretty unanimously considered cheating. I dated a porn star, she seriously had issues, AMD was just in for the fun. So yeah, it all comes down for me to the person/character. Sex workers are human beings like everyone else. For me, the mental issues were the reason to ditch the dates. I would because they be mackin' hella bank. Some girls are making 100k in a month. How? Exclamation mark. Like what are they doing to make that much? I'm not hating. I'm just shocked that it's happening. There are just a bunch of horny old men and women are making so much off of them. I dated a stripper for a year and all it did for me was kill my confidence and will to live. It depends on the person, though. Not a chance. Call me old fashioned, but I wouldn't want to date someone all my friends have seen naked, which they will once they find out. Sure. So long as they're not cheating on me, I don't care. If someone wants to pay you to take your clothes off or whatever, then get that money. Just not my personal thing. I'm used to wanting and giving a mutual specialness or intimacy, sexually/romantically speaking. I've been known to have an open mind, so who knows where life will go. I really can't separate love and sexuality in my head, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. I will say one of my favorite quotes, paraphrased, from a Redditor's father apparently, that if you're feeling insecure then you should look inside of you for answers instead, and that really resonated with me, especially in terms of insecurity regarding a partner or their behavior. That's very understandable. I'm similar when it comes to romance. I'm okay with open relationships sexually but not romantically. I was with a model for a year who cammed and had OnlyFans. I didn't have a problem with it. In fact, I encouraged her to do whatever she wanted. She wasn't my property. I don't own her skin or her body. As long as I had her heart, and as long as she wanted to build a life with me, I had no issues with it whatsoever. I ended up breaking up with her for entirely different reasons that were unrelated. The girl I'm with now never did anything like that before, but she asked me if she could start an OnlyFans. She's a photographer and takes very classy slash sexy slash high quality photos that I've not often seen before. And I said duck yes. In my opinion, there is nothing wrong with being oogled by the opposite sex or same sex. If you're not confident, it can be a good way to grow some confidence. If you are already confident, then it's just another way to make money and have some fun. We have an amazing relationship and have been together nearly 2 years now, and seeing her get so excited to show me what she's made for OnlyFans and sharing some hilarious messages she's been sent because of it is one of my favorite things. I guess it all depends on how strong the trust is in the relationship. The way I see it, if she were to cheat, then it isn't camming slash OnlyFans that caused her to. It's either our relationship or her own personal reasons. On top of that, I know my own self-worth isn't decided by a girl cheating on me. Yeah, I've always had a kink like that though, so interesting. So would you join them? Yep. I'd probably get spotted pretty quickly though. No, I've seen what it does to couples. Wouldn't be okay with the jealousy and the need for compartmentalization. People overestimate their ability to compartmentalize, and it's like to build resentment down the road. Same deal with threesome. You and your partner may have fantasies about it, but you never really want to get near that Pandora's box. I've done the threesome route plenty of times. If you're secure in your relationship, and you do it smart, or threesome can be fun. Just as I'm sure dating a cam girl would be fine for some people. Just not for me. If I met a girl who was doing that, and we hit it off, and it was a good relationship, I would have no problem at all. But if I was currently dating someone who hit me one day saying, I'm gonna start cam modeling, I wouldn't be as accepting. I'd really want to be, but I had a girlfriend in college that told me she was considering being an escort, and while they're totally different, I wasn't exactly excited to hear it. But were you excited to hear it? No, they weren't. If it was something she had done in the past, I wouldn't mind. What's done is done. However, if she was still creating content, I would probably not be interested in dating her. There's no real reason for it other than my own insecurity. Nope, it's just not something I'd feel comfortable with. As long as they aren't like shitting on a rabbit, I'm fine with it. Oddly specific. A huge reason I'm not okay with it is the long-term implications in a long-term relationship. What is the career plan if they want to stop? Or losing income as you get older? Many plan to spend the income on study, but being unemployed for years and years is going to hurt your chances of getting into a new career easily. Getting addicted to the high income, even if they no longer enjoy it. Or not pursuing their true career aspirations due to the high income they get. Spending time with friends. Know they jerk themselves to your girlfriend on a regular basis, and knowing how they would look at her. Who wants to worry if your friend might comment on how great your girlfriend's latest dildo video was? I think people will naturally want to mention they've at least seen it. At least in my opinion. The mental toll it takes on a lot of people when doing it. For years. Sites like OnlyFans are probably a lot better for mental health, especially when it comes to sexual mental health. Knowing that once she goes into a new career, that it's likely her coworkers will see her videos and the drama that often causes. It's a slippery slope. I've followed quite a few cam girls since their very first day. Literally all of them slowly allow more and more and do what the community are asking / paying them to do, both in private or public. To me this just proves that it's not a healthy job, and it changes who you are as a person. On a more personal level, I think doing it for a few years completely changes you, and I think conflicts with a lot of special experiences you can have with your long-term partner. A cam girl is subjected to all levels of sexual situations, fetishes, etc. and you can't honestly say it won't change things. I'm no expert, but know a few people in real life, and have also followed specific cam girls over the years, and you can easily see the slow decline of what I would call a suitable long-term partner. At least for me anyway. Hi, ex-cam girl here. I worked on campsites for 2 years while I was studying and am in a happy long-term relationship with my partner. And we are now expecting a baby. I wanted to respond to a few of your points from my personal experience. I kept my work very private and had a fake name. So it is possible to limit people finding out, and therefore people you know can't easily watch you. No one ever knew my fake name, so fewer risks there. I set my own limits and refused to do certain things, cater to various fetishes or entertain disrespect. I think it's all about setting boundaries, and if you can do that you won't have a lot of these problems. My work was my work, and in no way similar to the authentic, intimate relationship I have with my partner. I do understand a lot of these concerns, but I thought it might be helpful to hear from a real woman who's done this. Some people can't set clear boundaries, and that means this job probably isn't for them. But if you can create that division and maintain your values and limits, it's a great job to have for the short term while you pursue other things. I don't feel any different to me 2 years ago, except maybe being slightly more confident and having a good chunk of savings behind me. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.